The UEF Prometheus shuddered as its mining lasers carved into the asteroid's pockmarked surface, sending molten debris spiraling into the void. Captain Elias Vance watched the readouts with detached patience, his callous fingers tapping the armrest of his command chair. 5 years scraping the belt for rare minerals, and still no payoff big enough to retire. "Another dud," muttered Lieutenant Kara Vex from the sensor station, her voice sharp with frustration. She flicked a strand of auburn hair behind her ear, her glare fixed on the spectral analysis. "Just iron and trace silicates. We're wasting fuel." Elias sighed. "One more sweep, then we call it." The ship's third occupant, Engineer Rook Tam, chuckled darkly as he recalibrated the scanners. "Patience, kids. The universe loves irony. Biggest finds always come when you're about to quit." His grin faded as a console suddenly blared an alert. "Huh, that's not iron." Kara leaned in, her breath catching. The scans revealed a massive, angular structure buried beneath the asteroid's crust. Too symmetrical to be natural. "It's huge. Half a click long, at least." Elias straightened. "Rook, get me visuals." The engineer routed the feed to the main screen. The exterior camera zoomed in, revealing a jagged fissure in the asteroid surface, and within it, a glimpse of something impossible. Metallic ridges, curved like the ribs of a long-dead beast, pulsed faintly with a deep blue luminescence. "That's no wreck," Kara whispered. Elias felt his pulse quicken. "Rook, prep the shuttle. We're going in." The boarding team moved cautiously through the fissure, their suit lamps cutting through the dust-choked darkness. The structure's interior was pristine, untouched by time or corrosion, its walls etched with spiraling glyphs that shimmered under their light. "Whatever this is, it wasn't built by humans," Rook muttered, running a gloved hand over the engravings. "This tech's old, older than our civilization." Kara's boot clanged against a raised platform. "Over here." She wiped away centuries of dust, revealing a circular dais studded with crystalline nodes. "Think it's a control panel?" Elias hesitated. Every instinct screamed trap, but the promise of answers overruled caution. "Try interfacing with it." Kara removed her glove and pressed her palm against the panel. The glyphs flared to life, racing up the walls in a cascade of light. A deep, resonant hum vibrated through the structure, and the air itself seemed to twist. Identity confirmed. Inheritor detected. The voice boomed through their helmets, mechanical yet weighted with something almost alive. The dais split open, and a holographic figure materialized, a towering humanoid clad in armor of liquid metal, its eyes burning like dying stars. "I am STORYS, last of the Titan Forge. You have awakened me." Rook stumbled back. "Oh, hell no." Elias held his ground. "Were you?" The Titan's gaze locked onto him. "A weapon, forged to stand against the Devourers." Its voice carried the weight of epics. "They return, and you, children of Earth, are the last hope this galaxy has." Kara's breath came fast. "Why us?" STORYS tilted its head, as if studying her. "Because only your kind can wield me. Only your flesh can endure the forge's fire." Silence hung thick in the air. Elias exchanged glances with his crew. Rook's face pale with terror. Kara's alight with something fiercer. Asterisk curiosity. Hunger. Asterisk. Then the ship's comms crackled. "Captain." The Prometheus S-pilot, Jax, sounded frantic. "We've got incoming signatures. Unknown configuration. They're heading right for us." STORYS' eyes blazed brighter. "Too late. They have felt my awakening." The structure trembled. Somewhere in the dark, something ancient and monstrous stirred, and Elias knew with icy certainty that they had just unleashed a war. Kara's hands trembled as she strapped into the neural harness, its tendrils slithering around her temples like living wires. The chamber inside STORYS hummed with latent power, the walls throbbing in time with some unfathomable heartbeat. She could still hear Jax's panicked voice over the comms. Asterisk, 3 bogies inbound. Signatures don't match any known faction. Asterisk, you sure about this? Rook's voice crackled in her earpiece. Through the Titan's external sensors, she saw him crouched behind a shattered console on the Prometheus, frantically rerouting power to the engines. That thing's older than civilization. What if it fries your brain? Then I'll die curious, Kara muttered. She inhaled sharply. STORYS, initiate sync. Synchronization commenced. Fire flooded her nerves. Visions detonated behind her eyes. A starscape burning. Cities of light crumbling under shadow. A war fought with gods as soldiers. She gasped, her body seizing as the Titan's memories overrode her own. The pain was unbearable, impossible. Yet she clung to consciousness like a lifeline. Somewhere distant, Elias was shouting. Then, asterisk, asterisk, clarity, asterisk, asterisk. The agony vanished, replaced by a humming equilibrium. Her senses expanded. She could feel the Titan's limbs as if they were her own, could taste the metallic tang of the asteroid's debris field, could see the approaching ships not as blips on a screen, but as heat shapes, their jagged hulls pulsing with violet energy. Kara? Elias's voice was taut. Status. She flexed STORYS' fingers, each digit the size of a shuttle, and grinned. I'm in. The enemy ships opened fire. Plasma bolts streaked toward the Prometheus. Kara moved on instinct, STORYS' colossal arms swinging up to intercept. A shimmering barrier flared to life, the impacts dissipating like rain against glass. The feedback rattled her teeth, but she held firm. They're targeting the ship, she snapped. Elias, get clear. The Prometheus lurched sideways, engines flaring as Jax punched the thrusters. Too slow. A second volley clipped the starboard hull, shredding plating. Alarms wailed over the comms. Rook cursed. We're losing oxygen. Kara snarled and pushed. STORYS surged forward, its thrusters igniting a roar that shattered nearby asteroids. The Titan's fist plowed into the lead attacker, crumpling its spine-like hull in a spray of molten debris. The remaining two ships banked hard, but Kara was faster. She seized one by its tail, her grip crushing its engines, and hurled it into its partner. The explosion painted the void silent. Panting, she turned to the Prometheus. Everyone alive? Barely, Rook coughed. Remind me never to doubt your suicidal ideas again. Elias wasn't celebrating. His gaze locked onto the debris. They weren't trying to kill us. They were scanning us. He pointed. A flicker of light pulsed from the wreckage. A data burst, streaking toward the edge of the system. A distress call. A scout pack, STORYS intoned. Their hive now knows I am awakened. Kara's stomach dropped. How long until the main force arrives? Days. Possibly hours. Silence. Even Rook had no quip. Then Elias straightened, his voice iron. You said there were others like you. Where? STORYS' optics dimmed, sleeping in the dark. But to awaken them requires a pilot for each. And none but your kind can endure the forge. Kara unclenched the Titan's fists. Then we find them, and we get ready. Outside, the stars watched, cold and indifferent. Somewhere in the black, something ancient and ravenous turned its gaze toward the Prometheus. An asterisk hungered. The bridge of the Prometheus buzzed with frantic energy as Jax plotted their desperate course through the holographic star map. Kara watched the shimmering lines connect dead worlds and forgotten battlefields, STORYS' grim atlas of the Titan's graves. Nearest one's the Epsilon sector, Jax announced, fingers dancing across the console. Buried under 12 miles of glacial ice on some backwater moon. Elias studied the data, his jaw tight. We'll need to melt our way in. Rook, can the ship's lasers? Not a chance, Rook interrupted, wiping grease from his forehead. That ice would take months to cut through. But, he glanced at Kara. A Titan's plasma cannon could do it in minutes. Kara felt STORYS stir in her mind, its anticipation humming like a live wire. Then we move fast. Every minute we waste. The proximity alarm screamed. The Prometheus shuddered as violet light flooded the viewports. Outside, the void rippled, space itself tearing open like rotten fabric. Through the rift emerged a nightmare, a devourer mothership, its spine hull wider than a continent, pulsing with cancerous light. Too late, Jax whispered. Elias slammed the comm. All hands brace for. The impact hit before he finished speaking. The ship lurched violently as something latched onto the hull, a barbed tendril, dripping corrosive fluid that ate through the metal like acid. Kara's vision swam as emergency lights strobe red over the groaning hull. She heard it, a scraping, chittering noise, multiplying by the second. "They're boarding us," Rook realized, snatching up a plasma torch. Kara grabbed Elias's arm. "Get to the escape pods. I'll hold them off." His eyes locked onto hers. "You can't take that thing alone." She touched her temple, where Astrius's presence burned. "I'm not alone." The hull breached with a deafening shriek. Kara ran. She reached the hangar as the first devourer swarm poured in, skeletal, multi-limb horrors moving with insectal precision. Their shrieks vibrated in her teeth. Behind her, Elias and Rook covered her retreat, their weapons barely slowing the tide. Astrius stood where she'd left it, dormant. Kara leapt for the access hatch just as the devourer lunged, its claws grazing her calf. She kicked free, sealing the cockpit as talons screeched against the reinforced glass. "Now!" she screamed. Astrius awoke. The Titan's optics blazed crimson as its systems roared online. Kara's mind merged with its fury. She was a god machine now, its wrath her own. The hangar became a slaughterhouse. Astrius's fists crushed devourers by the dozen, their ichor painting the walls in putrid green. But for every one she killed, 10 more scrambled through the breach. "The hive mind sees US," Astrius warned. Through the Titan's enhanced vision, Kara saw the truth. The creatures weren't attacking randomly. They were hurting her, driving Astrius toward a pulsating spore pod they planted on the hangar floor. A trap. She pivoted, plasma cannon charging. Too slow. The pod detonated in a shock wave of viscous filaments that wrapped around Astrius's limbs like living chains. The Titan staggered, its systems flickering as the organic cables burrowed into its armor, injecting paralyzing toxins. Kara gasped as the feedback hit her nerves. The pain was exquisite, like molten lead in her veins. Warning sigils flooded the cockpit. Astrius's power core was destabilizing. She had seconds left. With a final defiant snarl, Kara channeled every volt of energy into the Titan's chest array. "Elias, get clear." The Prometheus S-hangar vanished in a blue-white inferno. Kara woke to silence. Her body ached as if she'd been trampled. The cockpit was dark, its systems dead. Through the cracked viewport, she saw only stars and drifting debris. The Prometheus was gone, either escaped or destroyed. Astrius lay broken in the void, its once gleaming armor scorched black. Kara tried the comms. Static, then movement. Something approached through the wreckage. Not a devourer. A ship, sleek, silver, utterly unfamiliar. As it drew nearer, Kara saw the insignia on its hull, a stylized hammer striking an anvil. The vessel locked a tractor beam onto Astrius. A voice crackled over the dead Titan's last functioning speaker, speaking in heavily accented but perfect English. "Pilot of the Forge, hear us! The Crucible has awakened. Your war is not over. It has only just begun." As the unknown ship hauled them into its bay, Kara's fingers tightened around Astrius's controls. Somewhere in the dark, other Titans waited, and she would find them. The docking clamps seized Astrius with a hiss of pressurized hydraulics. Kara blinked against the sudden glare of sterile white light flooding the cockpit, her fingers still locked around the dead Titan's controls. Every muscle screamed in protest as she uncurled from the pilot's harness. Blood trickled from her nose, warm and metallic on her lips. Beyond the viewport, faceless figures in mirrored helmets moved with mechanical precision, their armored suits gleaming under the hangar's harsh luminescence. No insignia she recognized, just that same damn symbol everywhere, hammer and anvil. The cockpit door groaned as it was pried open from outside. Kara grabbed the sidearm from Astrius's emergency cache, leveling it at the first figure to appear in the breach. "Explain," she croaked, her throat raw from smoke and screaming. "Why I shouldn't burn a hole through your visor." The lead figure paused, then raised slender hands to unlatch their helmet. The face beneath was humanoid. Pale blue skin, elongated black eyes, but eerily familiar in expression. A woman. "You are wounded," she observed, her voice like glass chimes. The forge bond is lethal to unprepared flesh. Kara's grip on the pistol wavered. Who the hell are you? Survivors, the woman said simply. Like you. She nodded to Astrius's crippled form. And like them, we are the remnant. A tremor ran through the deck. Somewhere beyond the hangar's vault-like doors, something detonated. The blue woman didn't flinch. The Devourers have tracked you here, she said. Come, the Crucible must see you before we are all consumed. The corridors of the alien ship blurred as Kara staggered after her guide, her body operating on pure adrenaline. The walls here weren't metal. They were grown, organic ridges pulsing with faint bioluminescence. Every few meters, more of those hammer and anvil symbols glowed under her feet. They passed an observation deck. Kara froze. Outside, framed by the swirling chaos of a space battle, hung a structure that defied reason, a colossal ringed station, its surface crawling with titans. Dozens of them. Some lay in pieces, being repaired by swarms of drones. Others stood dormant, their optics dark. The Crucible, her guide said, where the forge was born. Another explosion rocked the ship. Closer this time. No time, the woman urged, pulling Kara forward. The Elder waits. The chamber at the ship's heart was a cathedral of shadows and flickering holograms. At its center floated a being wrapped in tattered energy, a wizened figure, human in shape but wrong, its skin translucent over glowing veins. Kara Vex. Its voice resonated inside her skull. You bear Astrius's scars. She swallowed. Are you their leader? The Elder's laughter was a dry rasp. I am the last myth, the one who remembers how gods are made. A skeletal hand gestured, and a hologram shifted. A star map, older than any human chart, with a single pulsing red line cutting across known space. The Devourer's path, it whispered. They move for Earth. Kara's blood turned to ice. Why? Because your world sits upon the first forge. The Elder's eyes burned into hers. And they mean to unmake it. Alarms wailed. The deck heaved violently. They're through, the blue woman hissed. Kara whirled toward the door, but the Elder's voice stopped her. You cannot fight yet. Not alone. It raised a trembling hand toward the holograms, where 3 Titan signatures blinked urgently. One in an ocean trench, one buried beneath Martian ice, one orbiting a dead star. Find them, it begged. Wake them, or all is lost. The chamber doors exploded inward. Black chitinous forms poured through, shrieking. Kara barely registered the blue woman, shoving a strange device into her hands. A prismatic crystal humming with power. Go! The woman screamed. Turned to face the horde with some sort of energy whip uncoiling from her wrist. The hangar! Now! Kara ran. Behind her, the Elder's final words chased her like a curse. Tell your kind to remember. The escape pod launched just as the Crucible's hangar collapsed behind her. Kara clutched the crystal to her chest, its light painting the cramped interior in feverish colors. Astrius's ruined face filled the view screen, transmitted from some still-functioning sensor. As she watched, the Titan's remaining hand twitched, one final salute before the Devourers swarmed over it. Then static. Kara exhaled, inputting coordinates with shaking hands. 3 locations, 3 chances. Somewhere in the dark, a war drum began to beat. The escape pod's oxygen recyclers wheezed like a dying animal as Kara studied the crystal prism in her lap. Its fractured light cast jagged patterns across the control panel, 3 distinct pulse rhythms corresponding to the Titan signatures the Elder had shown her. She rotated the device, watching how each facet brightened when aligned toward a different sector of space. A compass for finding gods. A proximity alert blared. Kara jerked upright, her hand flying to the sidearm she'd scavenged from the Crucible, but it wasn't Devourers. The scanner showed a human vessel, its transponder broadcasting a familiar code. UEF Prometheus. Impossible, she whispered. The comm crackled to life. Unidentified pod. This is Captain Elias Vance of the static swallowed the rest. Then clearer. Asterisk Christ asterisk, Kara? Is that you? Her throat tightened. She'd watched the Prometheus get torn apart, had mourned them, Yet there it hung in the view screen, its hull patched with ugly welds but intact, its running lights cutting through the debris field left by the Crucible's destruction. The docking collar hissed open to reveal Elias, his left arm strapped in a makeshift sling, his uniform streaked with dried blood. Rook loomed behind him, half his face covered in a burned dressing. Neither smiled. "You died," Kara said numbly. "Report said the same about you." Elias tossed her a water canister. "Turns out we're all hard to kill." The ship's interior smelled of scorched wiring and antiseptic. Kara counted 12 new blast doors welded into the corridors. The Prometheus had been through hell. Crew members she didn't recognize moved through the shadows, their eyes hollow with exhaustion. Rook noticed her staring. Picked up survivors after the Devourers hit Tau Ceti Station. His voice was flat. "We're all that's left in this sector." Elias steered her toward the bridge. "Now talk. What the hell was that station?" Kara opened her palm, revealing the prism. Its light danced across Jax's face as he spun from the pilot seat, his usual smirk absent. "Found the Titan nursery, did you?" She ignored him. "The Crucible built them. The Titans." The words tasted strange. "There are 3 more out there. Ones the Devourers haven't found yet. One's buried on Earth." Elias went very still. Earth's been dark for 48 hours. No comms. No outbound traffic. The implication hung like poison gas. Kara clenched the prism until its edges bit into her flesh. "Then we're already too late for the others. We go home. Now." Jax input coordinates with shaking hands. "Even at max burn, it's an 18-hour. The proximity alarm screamed. Kara was moving before the others reacted, slamming her palm against the tactical display. The screen fizzed alive, showing the void behind them writhing. 1,000 Devourer scouts pouring from a freshly torn rift. And behind them, something worse, the bulbous, planet-sized silhouette of a hive mother. Rook cursed. "They're hurting us." Because suddenly it made sense. The damaged Prometheus left adrift. The survivors gathered, the trail leading inexorably toward Earth. Bait for a trap. Elias met Kara's eyes. "They want you to wake that last Titan." The prism's light pulsed faster in her grip, as if agreeing. Jax swore and engaged emergency thrusters. The Prometheus groaned, its battered frame protesting as it veered off course. Not toward Earth, but away. Toward the second Titan signature blinking on Kara's display. "New plan," Elias said quietly. "We deny them their prize." Kara opened her mouth to argue, but the words died as the prism's light suddenly shifted. Its 3 pulses synchronizing into a single urgent rhythm. A new signal, overriding the old one, transmitting from somewhere beneath the Prometheus' own decks. Rook's diagnostics confirmed it first. There's something in the cargo hold. Something that wasn't there before. The air left Kara's lungs. Because suddenly she remembered Astrius's final twitch, the way its fingers had curled toward the escape pod. Not a salute, a throw. She was running before the others could react. Elias shouting after her. The cargo bay door slid open to reveal a single Devourer spore pod, its organic casing split like a rotten fruit. And within it, cradled in a nest of severed tendrils, a Titan's severed hand, its armor blackened but still faintly glowing, clutched in its metal fingers. A second prism. Kara reached for it just as the ship lurched violently. The overhead lights failed, plunging the bay into red emergency glow. Through the hull, she heard it. The shriek of rending metal, the wet pop of Devourers boarding. The comm crackled. "Kara." Elias's voice was barely audible over the chaos. "They're they're everywhere." The transmission cut off with a finality that shook her bones. Alone in the dark, Kara pressed both prisms together. They fused instantly, their light exploding outward to reveal a hologram. Not a star map this time, but a face. Her face, reflected back infinitely in fractal patterns. And beneath the image, a single word in the Titan's ancient script. "Arise." The severed hand spasmed. Its fingers closed around her wrist, and the universe asterisk burned. White fire poured from the Titan's severed hand, searing through Kara's nerves like liquid lightning. She tried to scream, but her throat was molten glass. The cargo bay dissolved around her, replaced by a void where colossal shapes moved, not titans, but something older, their forms shifting between machinery and flesh. A whisper slithered through her mind. Asterisk, you are the key. Asterisk. Then impact. Kara gasped as her knees hit the deck, the vision vanishing. The fused prisms lay before her, now a single obsidian shard humming with contained fury. The titan hand was gone, its metal dust coating her arms like gray blood. From somewhere above came the sounds of battle. Plasma fire and tearing metal, Elias shouting orders, Rook's inventive cursing. She grabbed the shard. It burned cold against her palm. The corridor outside was a charnel house. Devourer corpses littered the floor, their chitinous limbs still twitching. Kara stepped over them, her movements eerily precise. She could feel the ship's damage now. Every buckled bulkhead, every failing oxygen line, as if the Prometheus were an extension of her own body. She found Elias on the bridge, his good arm braced against the tactical display. 3 screens showed the nightmare outside, the Devourer swarm, the Hive Mother's monstrous bulk, and new horror, Earth's moon cracking open like an egg, its shattered surface revealing metallic tendrils coiling beneath. They're waking it, Jax whispered. The Earth Titan. Elias turned. His eyes locked onto the shard in Kara's hand, then widened. Your veins! She glanced down. Beneath her skin, luminous filaments pulsed in time with the shard's glow. Asterisk, Kara. Asterisk Rook's voice was raw. He pointed to the main viewer, where the Devourer swarm had suddenly stilled. The Hive Mother was retreating. A new shadow eclipsed the stars. It emerged from behind Luna's corpse. A titan, yes, but warped. Its armor bulged with organic growths, its optics bleeding violet light. Where Strius had been grace, this thing was a grotesque fusion of machine and nightmare. ORTHYS, the shard whispered in Kara's mind. Firstborn. Broken. Elias grabbed her shoulders. What the hell is happening to you? She opened her mouth, and the shard answered for her, her voice layered with something ancient. Asterisk, they tried to make it a weapon. It broke its chains. Asterisk, on screen, Orthes turned its gaze toward them. The Prometheus S-systems failed in a cascade of sparks. Jax recoiled from his console. It's looking at her. The shard's light intensified, searing Kara's bones with revelations. She saw the First War, Titans screaming as the Devourers changed them, saw Orthes, mightiest of them all, tearing free with half its mind aflame, saw the terrible truth. The Devourers didn't fear the Titans. They craved them. Rook was suddenly beside her, his scanner whirring over the shard. It's a neural key, he breathed, not just for waking them. For controlling them, Kara finished. Silence. Outside, Orthes raised one corrupted hand, and space itself ripped as it began to teleport toward them. Elias moved first. Jax, plot a slingshot around Neptune. Rook, get our remaining warheads armed. His gaze met Kara's, the unspoken question hanging between them. Can you stop it? The shard's voice in her mind was grim. Weapons cannot kill what is already dead. Kara tightened her grip until blood welled around the edges. Then we were reminded what it was. As the Prometheus banked violently towards certain doom, the shard's light consumed the bridge, and with it, Kara's last shreds of humanity.